Hi, I'm Felix Ros, and I'd like to talk to you about the future of driving. And let's first start with human driving. Carl Benz, the inventor of the automobile, he predicted a limited global market for his invention due to a lack of qualified chauffeurs. Well, obviously he's wrong. The car has shaped our society in ways that he could have never imagined. And the car has really let us roam our surroundings in like further than ever before. But now with new technologies as autonomous driving, driving our cars will be unnecessary. But the car has really been integrated in our society so well, and are we really ready to give up the wheel just yet? Autonomous cars, a car you don't really drive. Are cars really just going to be these vessels that take us from A to B? Or are they more? Are they like a part of our identity, like literally these cocoons that we live in, like an avatar? I think we need to look into the human element of these machines and see if there's maybe a transitional period or technology that helps us ease us in with autonomy. So I started looking into what's else out there before that's also autonomous, but before the car. And that's a horse. And this is the horse metaphor, which I love to use in my designs. The idea of what's great about horses is that they're autonomous, they don't need a rider. They also don't have any screens. What's also great about to use these reins, which is it works like flexible control. So if you have tight reins, you can tell the horse exactly where to go. Or you have loose reins, where you basically tell the horse, you find your way home, because the horse already knows. Also, horses will always keep you safe, because he has a shared interest in not running into any obstacles, obviously. So based on this, and looking at how a horse works, I designed a controller, which I call Stewart. And Stewart is kind of like this intermediate mediator between you and this autonomous vehicle. And Stewart moves in 6 degrees of freedom. And this way it can let you feel what the car is doing and what its next action might be. Not only that, you can push back on Stewart and tell what you want to do to really implement that human touch. What happens then is that you create this dialogue, or what I like to call a haptic discussion between you and the vehicle. And this way you guys drive together as a collaborative team. So people ask me, well, does this work? This is very conceptual. So together with Nissan Renault, I implemented this into a driving simulator. And I'd like to show you this one clip from an extensive research study. Let's have a listen. And I asked the girl what she's doing with the car.
What is happening?
We're changing lanes and speeding up. There's traffic.
Did you guys hear it? She said we. And for me, that's huge, because it means that she can really work together. She speaks as we, as she in the car. So it kind of shows the potential of this technology that maybe we can actually collaborate with machines, intelligent machines like autonomous vehicles. So dialogues with machines, do they work? Well, they're very intriguing, but they're not very effective. And that's mostly because we're not used to be told by machines what to do. So I thought, okay, well, I have to think about something else, a different kind of interaction that is more appropriate to us, humans. So I looked into something that I call humble interaction, a way of interacting where the human is of greater importance than the machine. The machine is still intelligent and does certain tasks, which are generally more simple, and we do tasks that we are good at. And in case of a car, that might be the car will stay in between the lines and maintain speeds, and we do more like decision-making, that's more context-aware. So what are the questions what kind of questions do you want to ask your car, or how do you want to interact with what situations do you like to interact with your car? Well, a complex scenario where you run into a road construction. Will the car understand how to get around it? And what will not run through it, but will it understand to cross a line, or if there's a police officer involved? Or what if you try to find your friend, but you don't know your friend's exact location, like in an airport? Will the car know where to go? How are you going to tell your car where to go? How will the car even recognize your friend? Or what if you just want to go explore? I feel like this is something that people do, physically explore your surrounding, almost a human right, really. So this all boils down to, I feel, is that people need to wonder. And this raises the question, how will autonomous cars let us wander our surroundings and find new places? So I looked into, well, where did people wander at first? Well, that's when we lived in caves. In the caves of Lascaux, for example, 15,000 years ago. We painted on the wall, and we basically described our lives this way, and wondered about life, I guess. And a bit more recent, we use sketching to really explore ideas and convey these to others. And even now, we use stroke-like or draw-like gestures to talk to our devices and tell them what to do, which are actually quite complex, but they're really easy and natural to us. So drawing to convey your intentions. So what if you have this road construction? What if you can just draw around it? Or what if you don't know where your friend is, but you want to tell your car, hey, go find my friend? Maybe you can just draw a pattern in the area where your friend might be, and it will find it for you. Or what if you just want to go explore, but you don't know your end location yet? Well, all that is my graduation project called Scribble. And Scribble is really easy. You basically draw your way through traffic using drawing gestures. And it lets you feel the road as how the car sees it. So it actually helps you draw better by feeling different lanes, the different cars. And you see this on this screen, so you have this symbolic information. And then later, when you have planned or drawn your path, the car will execute it for you. So it's really a form of planned driving that works pretty decently. So actually, people ask me, like, so does this work? This seems very experimental again. I've never ever done this before. And so I went together with Mercedes-Benz. I implemented this into a custom-built simulator to really try it out. And there's three things that I can say from this research, and that it's people find this very playful. And it's also because it's a bit challenging, which you might wonder if that's something you really want in a car. The other thing is that it's quite relaxing. Normally, people say things like, oh, normally I have to think twice, now only once, which means I have to plan and then execute what I planned in traffic. And now you just draw and basically tell the car what to do, and the car will execute it for you. And it's very logical. People really seem to understand drawing. This is where you start, and this is where you want to go. So Carl Benz basically assumed that people weren't really designed to drive. And I agree. I feel like that drivers should become decision makers, really, and collaborate with machines, not drivers. And I feel like it's research and design like this that helps us ask the right questions about how do we really want to interact with technology in the future that is going to be as smart or maybe even smarter than us. Thank you.